and welcome to the Art of Shame-Free Living podcast. Today we're going to talk about shame and shame being a hierarchy. I know I've addressed this in the past, but recently that word hierarchy has really stuck in my mind so much. If you're really into personality typing stuff like Gene Keys, human design, Enneagram, all of that, I love them all. And Gene Keys specifically, one of my Pearl purpose numbers as far as Gene Keys goes is like dismantling the hierarchy, like recognizing hierarchies and not being a leader that's hierarchical. Hierarchical being taking power from others, making them reliant on me, making them feel like they can only find the solution through me and that they need me. And as we keep people in this like victim mentality, most leaders keep people in this victim mentality of like, you need me in order to get what it is that you want. That is shame. That is that perception of better than and less than. So I've been doing a lot of journaling, doing a lot of writing, doing a lot of pondering and contemplating on this idea of hierarchy. And what I truly believe is that there is no hierarchy of humanity, but shame makes us believe that there are. Shame's lie, its big lie, is that humans have a hierarchy of better than and less than, and that we're consciously and unconsciously ranking people on this hierarchy. In fact, I thought it was mostly unconscious, and then I was describing this concept to somebody that I've never done coaching with, just a random friend, and they were like, oh no, I do this consciously. So maybe you do it consciously, maybe you do it unconsciously, but I want you to think about each of these areas that I'm going to mention. And are you better thanning or less thanning yourself in comparison to others? This is why I believe that shame is a perspective, not necessarily a feeling, but a perspective. It brings up a lot of feelings in us, but the perspective is hierarchy. That is the perspective. So I want you to think about first, social media. Social media feeds off this knowledge. It knows that we already have this inside of us. And it's like, here, better than means more followers, more likes, more engagement, viral videos, better TikTok, whatever it is. That is more. That is better than. Less than means like some obscure profile that nobody ever sees, posting and having nobody respond at all, right? That's the less than. And that we do this unconsciously and consciously to ourselves and others. It's like, if you get that external validation, then I have more worth. I have more enoughness. I feel better on the inside. The other area that I feel like this comes into is intellect. You know, if you're smarter, if you have more degrees, if you have a PhD, if you have a lot of experience with something, then you're higher than or less than other people. I do this unconsciously all the time with wealth, like socioeconomic statuses. And I don't do this consciously because I don't believe it consciously at all. But I think that oftentimes our hierarchical self just pops up. And in areas where I'm in a totally different socioeconomic status, like circle or area that I'm in, I notice it pop up and be like, ooh, you're not supposed to be here. You don't have this worth or this value to this external thing. So I find it in wealth. I find it in social media. I find it in intellect. I find it even in beauty, like external beauty, what we've decided is beautiful or not. We can better than or less than ourselves. But I think the truth is that healing is coming to know our hierarchies, coming to know where they are, coming to know where our perceptions are. And first consciously dismantling them, but then also unconsciously dismantling them. Sometimes I'll actually say to myself, oh, my brain is telling me the illusion that this person is better than me because of such and such, or that this person is less than me because of such and such. But I know that that illusion is not true. In fact, one of my past coaches would always use this phrasing that she learned, I call my power back. And so I will actually say that, and it's felt really powerful to me. I'm living in this illusion that such and such is happening, but I know that that's not true, and I call my power back. I know that my power comes from within. I'll visualize too, like this hierarchy of me being above or me being below, and then I'll imagine myself bringing it back to center. I'm like, nope. I imagine the feeling in my body. No, we don't believe in hierarchy. We are the same. We are all equal. And as I recognize this, I recognize shame really is just hierarching humans, that my life's journey is dismantling that, but it has to dismantle within me first. It has to dismantle within me, and then I don't even have to dismantle anything externally because it is already dismantled externally for me. I don't live into it. I don't believe it. I don't follow people that say, it's only me. I am the one that can get you there and you can't, and you'll never get there without me. And I think that as I dismantle that from within, I'm able to recognize it more outside of myself. And I think that it's like giving permission to other people to do the same, to just feel good and comfortable with who they are and to believe that they don't have to feel like they're better than or less than based on their intellect or their social media followers or their wealth or their humor or their house size or their job or whatever it is that we've decided better than and less than is. And from that space of true calm and groundedness and peace, that fullness space does come healing and growth. In fact, I think it's the only space that true healing and growth comes from. We're used to feeling really bad about ourselves and like we need to feel bad about ourselves and then we'll climb the ladder of success, then we'll do better. But it always feels really bad. It always feels really lacking and we never get there. We never get to the point where we feel that way. But if we can allow ourselves to feel this way first, to dismantle that hierarchy within that's telling us that we're not good enough and really feel our fullness and our enoughness from within, that is a much better motivator. That is much better change. That is where my change, my growth, my evolution, my me-ness comes from. It doesn't have to come from lack. It doesn't have to come from scarcity. It doesn't have to come from victim mentality. It doesn't have to come from looking to somebody else who has the answer and they know everything and now I have to like go follow them and always be around them so that they can answer for me, but that I have answers and wisdom within me. I have divinity within me. So I think that shame work is dismantling the hierarchy within work. And I think it's really needed and beautiful work. And I think that it will change the world. I think it'll change parenting and I think it'll change businesses and how they run. I think it'll change wealth accumulation. I think it'll change community versus individualistic. And I think it changes a lot of things. It has changed a lot of things for my world. And I believe that it's true for the world in general. So go out and do this work, dismantle those hierarchies and see how it feels within yourself as you start in here first. We'll see you next week. If you are enjoying these episodes, I would love for you to follow, subscribe, like, share, do all those things so that it can get more out into the world, more out into the algorithm, and join me in this shame-free movement.